It's Paul Marsh, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by comedian and all-round legend Jack Whitehall. Jack, how are you, sir?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Now, there have been some amazing comedy duos throughout the test of time. Laurel and Hardy, Boris and Stanley, maybe, but Jack and Michael, I think, are right up there. And you are coming to Portsmouth on the 2nd of January to the Portsmouth Guildhall, 1:30 and 5 p.m. Although I believe the 5 p.m. one's nearly sold out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the 5 p.m. one is sold out. So yeah, we've added an extra show. Yeah, the 1 p.m. one for all of those people that are sort of still up from New Year's Eve and are pushing through and maybe need some entertainment to help them get through the hangover that they're nursing.
I was going to ask you this exact question because doing a show on the 2nd of January, can't you tell that you're a father now and you don't overdo it on New Year's Eve?
Exactly. Yeah, that's my incentive to not completely overcook it. But yeah, obviously as well, I don't give my dad too much time off and get him straight back to work as soon as possible.
Now, I've got a question for you, right? Okay, so I worked with my father for around 20 years. I recently interviewed Adam Wakeman, son of Rick Wakeman, who's worked with his father all of his life.
Mm.
What is the secret to not ending up hating each other?
I mean, I think definitely like having a little bit of a break from each other is quite useful, which is why this has not been particularly well thought through in terms of a tour, because I would have just spent Christmas with them. And normally by the end of that, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to see these people for another year. And I'm gonna, yeah, I'll get all of 6 hours without without them, and then I'll be back in a small dressing room with them, driving each other mad. So yeah. I don't know, alcohol maybe.
What happened in your life, Jack? Because you're so successful as a comedian, you then turn to acting and you knock that out the park. You were doing your panel shows, you're doing everything, and then you thought, do you know what my career needs? My dad.
My dad, exactly. Well, it was 10 years ago that we started doing things
Was it
together.
really? Was it that long ago?
Yeah. I brought him up on stage at the Edinburgh Festival, and we did a couple of live shows there. And from that, it spawned this weird double act where we've ended up doing shows for Netflix and being able to travel around the world and do documentaries and films and chat shows and whatnot. And that's sort of come full circle, and we're doing these live shows again. And I feel like this will probably be the final incarnation of our double act, and will be a really fun way to sort of like wrap it up. But yeah, even this was one of those things where it all came about quite out of nowhere. We got asked to do the New York Comedy Festival at the
Yeah.
Carnegie Hall. My mum was like, "You can't turn that down." So I did point out that we didn't really have a show at the time, but we cobbled together something, and it seemed to go down quite well. So then we were like, "Oh, seems a shame to have this and not do it a couple more times." So yeah, from the Carnegie Hall to the Portsmouth Guildhall, we're playing all of the iconic venues across the globe, and yeah, now we can retire happy.
We'll tip you with that extra little bit of money for that one, Jack. Thank you for that,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
mate.
I
I was
imagine it'll
gonna,
be a slightly different audience at the Guildhall to the
e-
Carnegie Hall. We had a
ever so
couple of
slightly.
people that definitely like at the Carnegie Hall had bought tickets, maybe thinking that they were coming to like a cello recital, and were very perturbed by the rather smutty nature of some of our material. I don't think we'll have as many issues with that at Portsmouth.
Well, you will have definitely a different type of audience in Portsmouth, that
Yeah,
is for sure.
yeah.
I was going to ask you, so basically, long story short, like I said, I worked with my dad for 20 years. I worked with my dad in construction for 20
Mm.
years, and I worked alongside his mates from when he was growing up. So I found out a lot about my dad that I didn't know before I started working with his mates. Has it been a similar journey to yourself? Well, obviously, working alongside your dad, but also your mum. Have you found out things in the last 10 years that you think, I really didn't want to know that?
Yeah,
I know you've
definitely.
seen things you didn't want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned a lot, and actually, that's what So much of this show is that the live show is them basically just airing our dirty laundry and them telling loads of embarrassing stories about me and each other. And my mom like has this archive of embarrassing photographs and videos as well that she like brings out at every show, and there's just a lot of like weird family dynamics. And the show is basically, I always describe it as being like a slightly like posher version of, like a Jeremy Kyle episode or Jerry Springer. It's basically just a family like falling apart in front of your eyes. Yeah.
It's car crash. You can't look away.
A lot of secrets, a lot of secrets and twists and yeah, accusations, and yeah, it's fun.
Now, I've spoken to quite a lot of comedians recently that are all got tours coming up and bits and pieces. Now, everyone does it differently. Some comedians go out on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so they're at home with the family for the rest of the week. I spoke to one recently who's going out for the whole of May, so he's only taking 1 month off and then he's back with the family. How have you managed to wangle not only a UK tour, which, like I say, you are, of course, coming to Portsmouth, but not only that, you're going to Australia and New Zealand, you're going to Singapore, and you're going to Dubai. How have you managed to wangle that with a young baby at home?
Well, the baby's going to be coming with me, and Roxy's going to be coming with me. That's how.
Okay,
And yeah, Australia. I met her in Australia, and she has family in Australia, so she wanted to go to Australia. So that's why we're doing Australia.
that
And
makes a
then
lot of
the
sense.
UK dates again. Like it all has to be approved by Michael, and his rule is nowhere north of Watford. So that's why we're basically just doing the South Coast and Portsmouth and Brighton and and Bournemouth.
That was another thing that I
Although,
noticed. Yeah.
yeah, but when he said I'll only do like south of London, I don't think he was expecting me to book Sydney, Australia.
You
I
didn't
think
lie,
that
right?
slightly
It's south of
backfired.
London.
Yeah, exactly. I think it may be a little further south than he'd expected, but I'll
Antarctica's
warm him
the one
up.
below that.
Yeah, I'll warm him up with Portsmouth, and that build up to taking him to Sydney.
So, after 10 years of working with your dad,
Yeah.
how do you feel about in 20 years' time doing the exact same thing with Elsie?
Yeah, I mean, it has crossed my mind. I don't know. She can't even talk yet, and I'm already thinking about how we could integrate her into this weird family circus that is, the Whitehalls. Yeah, Roxy's kiboshed it thus far and said that it's never going to happen, but you know,
Give it
I've
time.
got plenty of time to
Yeah,
convince
give
her.
it
Yeah,
time. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
yeah.
Not content with touring not only across the south of England, but all over the world, you have also got your own Christmas special out. It's called Jack in Time. It's out on Prime on the 3rd of December. It all sounds slightly mad. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a sort of homage to planes, trains, and automobiles. This kind of bonkers, like semi-scripted, semi-reality show about me trying to get home in time for Christmas and enlisting the help of lots of weird and wonderful guests to help me on my way. And it's got stunts and sketches and Michael Bublé and everything you want from a Christmas special, hopefully.
Rebel Wilson. You got a lot of celebrities popping up, haven't you?
Yeah, Rebel Wilson's in it, Jimmy Fallon, Dave Bautista, Daisy May Cooper. Yeah, it's a really fun cast, and everyone was really game and up for it, and was willing to sort of send themselves up and do these stupid ideas that I pitched to them, and somehow, we managed to assemble this amazing cast and filmed it all over the course of last year, and it's coming out soon, so I'm excited for audiences to see it.
I can only assume that they're all coming to see the show in Portsmouth.
Yeah, exactly. I've invited them all to the Portsmouth Guildhall. We'll see who turns up.
Jack, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you. Thank you so much for talking to me. Like we mentioned, you are in Portsmouth at the Guildhall with Michael on the 2nd of January, 5 p.m. I believe literally other than a couple of tickets has as good as sold out. So if there are any tickets left for the 1:30 showing, grab your tickets now. Jack, thank you so much. Enjoy Christmas.
Thanks very much. Speak soon. Bye, Paul.